All right, this is going to be a really fun video. We're going to go over and answer your comments from the last couple of videos about 338 ARC. We're also going to talk 8.6 Blackout, 300 Blackout, and of course, 338 Spectre. Non-binary Jesus says, honestly, I think the 8.6 Blackout is dumb. 300 Blackout works fine, and these huge grain bullets in small cartridges doesn't make much sense. Well, it makes perfect sense, and I'll tell you why. It's a fad and a wildcat. It will come and go. Remember the 300 WSM? 300 WSM still around, and it has a lot of fans. But let's take a look at 300 Blackout. Check out this case right here from Phantom Defense. They made me a 3D printed Eagle Run 2 3 case, and they filled it with 300 Blackout. Really stinking cool rounds here. So let's just take a quick look here at 300 Blackout versus 338 Spectre. So shorter one there is 300 Blackout, and the longer one is the 338 Spectre. Coming at you, 338 is obviously bigger than 308, and so you do have that more frontal ability there, and then you have the ability of those bullets being spun a little quicker to open up. Now, none of this is relevant for the 338 ARC because it slows way down with a 1 in 8 twist rate. And Hornady did that, 1, to be safe, and 2, to make sure that the bullets that they have won't spin apart. Now, a couple people in the comments said that 8.6 Blackout ammo explodes. As if you use like a cup and core lead bullet, it's going to explode. Explode's the wrong word. Shotgun is a better word. It will shotgun out the end of your barrel because it just can't hold up to that 1 in 3 twist. Dirty secrets about the 300 Blackout that no one talks about. A lot of people don't even shoot it suppressed. They only shoot it supersonic. But 300 Blackout is wildly inaccurate. Now, you might have one, and I know yours is going to be fine, and you're going to tell me in the comments that your 300 Blackout is fine, but I cannot tell you how many times I've been at the range sitting next to a guy with a stack of 300 Blackout, all different types of ammo, trying to get it to shoot a 1-inch group. And most recently, the guy walked away with a 1.1 or 1.2 and was happy with it because that's the best his 300 Blackout had shot. 300 Blackout, and here's the other thing. People, guys, we don't like to admit that our guns are not accurate, as if you go to Cabela's, buy a gun off the shelf, and because you're such a blessed man, your gun is so much better than the one that was sold right after it. It's hard for us to talk about these things. I get you. I have a YouTube channel. I have to show you guys all of my groups. So I have to swallow my pride sometimes and let you know that, hey, this gun didn't shoot that well. So realistically, if you're being honest with yourself, there's not a lot of sub-MOA 300 Blackout guns, which is fine. You can still shoot deers and pigs if you're not sub-MOA. That's not anyone's first choice for accuracy, and that's totally fine. But the 300 Blackout struggles with accuracy. His other point here about subsonic ammo, these wildcats being a fad and they'll come and go. To some extent, they will come and go because everything's a fad. 308 was a fad, and 6.5 Creedmoor was a fad. You know, all of these rounds are fads because something else is going to come along. But I'll tell you, subsonic hunting is here to stay. If you want to come hunting on my property, you better have a suppressor because I don't want to wear hearing protection. So 8.6 Blackout, 300 Blackout, you better have a suppressor, 338 Spectre, because I don't want to sit in that deer blind all day long with headphones on. Once you go that direction, you'll never go back. Now, when we're coyote hunting and we're shooting, a little bit longer distances, I'm fine wearing hearing protection. But if that coyote's inside of 300 yards, I'm shooting a 338 Spectre at it. Next question is more of a comment, and this is from our friend Rav79. He comments on a lot of videos, been around for a long time. Appreciate you, Rav. Thanks for chiming in here. He kind of gets after us a little bit here. Not us, but 8.6 Blackout. He says, I think honestly, the felt need for this wouldn't have been as noticeable if the 8.6 Blackout had met the early advertised benchmarks. You're not wrong, but the supersonic 8.6 just doesn't have the horsepower to justify the AR-10 platform size. So weight and recoil. I don't disagree with you. If you're comparing that to a 6.5 Creedmoor or a 308, you can even do 300 Win Mag, like all sorts of these bigger, more powerful, longer range calibers. It maybe doesn't justify the AR-10. I don't disagree with you. If you're shooting something 500, 600, 700 yards, you're not grabbing either one of these guns for that job. That's just not the job that they do. I'll tell you two things about this, Rav. Number one, 8.6 Blackout is undervalued, underdiscovered as a supersonic caliber. I've pushed it up to 2100. I've heard people going faster than that. And I've also seen a lot of accuracy. I can shoot a sub MOA group with supersonic 8.6 Blackout. The Barnes 210, the Hammer 205. Halworks has some, what does he have? Halworks even has two really interesting loads. He's got 160 grain Barnes in 8.6 Blackout. I don't know if these are still available. Some of these are prototypes that I end up with, and I can't keep track of if it's available or not, but I get to do a lot of testing for Halworks, and I've got some stuff here from Phantom and Steinells that I'll show you here in a little bit. 185 CX bullet from Hornady that's also a supersonic. These are sub MOA calibers. He didn't say the speeds on there. We've been pushing those. I've hand loaded up to 2100, and I've shot some loads from Halworks and some of these other guys that are even faster, and I've seen on the groups that some of you guys are at 2300 FPS. So he says the boombox kind of solves the platform problem, which I don't disagree with, but the POF Revolution, you can also chamber that in 8.6 Blackout, and the Ruger SFAR is also available in an 8.6 Blackout. So both of those are available, which are kind of a mid AR-15, AR-10, a little bit more AR-15 size, but with the bigger openings for bigger 308 size stuff. All right, a couple more questions here. This is cool, but it's a tough sell for me. 300 Blackout is cheaper, more widely available, and overall an already solved cartridge. Also, you don't need to buy a new 30 caliber can versus a 338 can. So if you're already set up in, and that's kind of what we were talking about earlier, if you're already set up in 300 Blackout, you like 300 Blackout, you have a can for it, just because this comes out doesn't mean you got to throw your 300 Blackout away. Doesn't mean that at all. Enjoy your 300 Blackout. Maybe some of the bullet technology that some of these other rounds are doing can even make your 300 Blackout even better. So this doesn't really, I agree with you, it's a tough sell for you in your situation. If you're completely dialed on 300 Blackout, stay there. Curious about what the max range and when can we expect videos coming along with pricing on the cartridge. For now, I'm going to say 8.6 Blackout pricing will be real close to what 338 ARC pricing is. What I don't know is how many other manufacturers are going to carry it. I've talked to Steinell, Halworks, I talked to Discreet. I need to reach out to Callaway. Phantom Defense sent us some ammo in, but it was kind of before the ARC came out. I need to reach out to them, see if they're planning on loading for it. A lot of these guys that are already doing 338 bullets will definitely load. And then, of course, you'll have the ammo from Hornady as well. I'm hoping that we don't see the scarcity price gouging situation. If not a lot of people pick it up and Hornady's the only game in town, they can kind of charge whatever they want. But okay, so max range for military applications, which is what Q really invented this for. The caliber was wanted to perform 300, 400, 500, 600 yards. It was wanted to perform a lot further out than what we see it in the commercial realm. They were also testing heavier bullets. I don't know how much of this I can say, but they were testing heavier bullets than what we have available retail commercial. So the 8.6 Blackout could potentially do some other things, and I'm not much of a tinkerer with the reloading. I can't really think about how much powder to put in there for a 400 grain bullet. Outside of my area of expertise, I will let other people figure some of those things out. If you're pig hunting for this maximum range, you're really not going to shoot a pig beyond 200 yards. If you saw a pig at 300, like they come closer than that. So you don't really have to like snipe a pig. If you're using this for deer hunting, if it's possible for you to get your gun dialed to 200 to 300 yards to take a shot, wouldn't have a problem with that. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, 300 yards. I have done as many as 3 or 4 shots in a row on a plate at 317, and that would probably be what I would say my max shot would be 317. I've taken that shot. I have a steel target set up at 317. I've taken that shot a lot of times with both Spectre and 8.6. I would imagine 338 ARC would be in the same realm of capabilities, given case capacity and bullet sizes are all real close to the same. To me, this is more attractive than 8.6 Blackout, mostly because no tuning is required to go from supers to subs. My 338 Spectre also requires no tuning, and I have an 8.6 Blackout that's got the superlative, no, it has an SLR gas block on it, and for whatever reason, the way it sets right now, it'll shoot subs and supers without touching it. I got lucky, I guess. The buffer spring is different in there, and the gas is different, so it's possible to tune an 8.6 to run both. I have one that does both. So for him, he's looking at potentially just getting an upper since he already has an SBR, and I think that's a great idea. Can a 338 Spectre rifle shoot 338 ARC cartridges? No, don't do that. And then here's another one, solution looking for a problem. This guy's not a subsonic hunter, and that's fine. If you think that this is a solution to no problem, then you haven't experienced subsonic hunting. It's a thing. People do it. There's a lot of suppressors on supersonic cartridges nowadays, which I think is really cool because it just kind of cuts that noise down at the range. Will there be an inexpensive option bullet for this? When you're talking 200, 300, 400 grains of copper, it's expensive, and that's kind of the main problem with some of these big heavy bullets that we're looking at for subsonic hunting. Maybe we're looking at some big revolution in metallurgy as well. Maybe there's a different material that's cheaper that would still take up the space and would still perform for us. I don't know. That's not my realm. And this guy, okay, I didn't put names on this sheet over here. This guy says, so it's 8.6 Blackout with less capabilities. Why not make a short action so it can be both super and sub? I guess I'm sticking with 338 Fed. But then he says, do this in a PRC, and I'm interested. So a 338 PRC, why would you want to do that? Supersonic, sure. I look at this mostly as through the subsonic eyes. The 338 Fed, those guys suppress that stuff a little bit. There's also 375 Raptor. Those guys suppress that a little bit as well. Some of those are 1 in 5, 6, 7 twist. There's a lot of people going in the same direction, even these wildcatters. So I think that's kind of cool. All right, great job, everybody. If you got more questions, leave them down below. Super fun to go through this. I have found the last couple of days have been really enjoyable. Had tons of questions and emails just with this 338 ARC announcement. And I do have an update for you as well. I am building one. I have 2 barrels coming in from 2 different manufacturers that reached out and want to see us do it on the channel. So looks like we're building a 338 ARC.